We're back.
Yep.
Talking about the famous Jeffrey Epstein files.
Or as,
Ooh.
but see, if you were to say it to Trump right now, I'd be like, why are we still talking about this Epstein guy? Again, some choice words on that one.
Aren't we talking about Texas?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, all right. So, your sentiments on the whole situation that's going on with the Epstein files.
This one.
I was allegedly on the Lolita Express, and I want to tell America and everybody that I was never on that plane, never sat next to Bill Clinton.
Neither have I.
I don't
I've
know
never
what
been
anybody's
there.
talking about. So, never been. Definitely never been.
Oh, but according to Douglas, if we've never been there, we can't comment on it, right?
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many layers. There's so many elements to this situation that it really does beg for some like discussion, for some just everyday discussion with anybody that you meet to get their sentiments. Because I believe it just reeks of something being covered up. To what extent, to what it is, I simply don't know. I don't think anybody knows the exact answer, but there is a little bit of an element, I don't know if you agree, that there's a little bit of covering up, like, and why? Why all the confusion? That's my main question. And why all the layers? Like, we got major players involved with Bondi, Bongino,
Cash Patel.
And it's like, how do you see all of this playing out? Like, I really want to know your sentiments in terms of, like, what do you think's going to happen? And also, like, what would you like to happen? Because they might not be the same thing.
So, my whole, do you want my thoughts on how it's going to play out, or my thoughts on the fact of how everything turned out?
Well, let's go with how everything turned out first, and then your thoughts on that afterwards.
So how it turned out was them saying, Epstein killed himself and there was no client list. Now, that's just the short answer. As for my thoughts, you couldn't gaslight me worse than that conclusion. There were signs of Epstein being strangled. There's no way he could have done that himself. And coincidentally, the video shuts out right at that moment. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there were no security guards there. Is that correct?
Correct. There's a lot of there's a lot of shenanigans.
So that right there, you lost me on.
On a top security.
Top security prison where wouldn't they have at least 4 or 5 guards there?
Is that possible?
It's just mathematically and logically impossible. So, my thoughts, that has made me leave, not without credit where credit is due. I will still give credit where credit is due. I have officially left the Trump administration in regards to my support for them.
Wow. That is a big breaking news story, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly.
If you guys remember.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, I heard the phone ring. Oh, that is Donald. Donald, would you like to say something?
Oh,
very disappointed in Nick. Just wanted to say.
Yeah, everyone who votes against, everyone who doesn't support him is against.
You like my hair, sir. Well, I like yours as well. We both have great hair. All right, I'll tell Nick. All right, tell Melania I love her. Tell her I said hi. All right, bye.
I would have some choice words for him, but
that's the Fletch phone.
Yeah,
every week I'll be getting a call.
A little addition to the American F.A.N. family.
It's made out of wood, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing they can get electricity in a piece of wood. I'm just saying. Pretty cool.
Yeah, science amazes me every day. I mean, in a time, electricity can transfer through wooden phones, and a man can be a woman. I mean, science is just changing.
How did we go from a wooden phone to talking about man versus woman? And what is a woman? What is a woman? Let's just forget the Epstein files. Let's talk about that. We're going to talk about that next week. Let's just put that out there. I want to talk about what is a woman. Because I've actually asked that question in public, and I get an array of answers. I thought it was pretty straightforward.
It is pretty
There's
straightforward,
dudes
but
and
it's
there's
ridiculous.
chicks, but apparently there's a lot in between.
Again, stay tuned. This is a little sneak peek for the next.
Because
episode.
I want to be a cis penguin. That's what I want to be. But
No. You gotta go the Pierce Morgan motto. You gotta go two-spirit penguin.
two-spirit penguin. Well,
You know.
we'll figure it all out. Back to the Epstein files. Like the major players. You have Pam Bondi teasing in February and March that there's going to be like some sort of delivery of this magic information that's going to blow everybody away. And then you have people like Alina Habba, remember Trump's personal lawyer? She goes on a couple different podcasts. She was on Pierce Morgan.
They just aired that clip.
I think her direct quote
episode
was either disturbing or disgusting or both words that would come out. And now all of a sudden we have radio silence. We have like, why is everybody still talking about
with the first
Epstein
one?
file?
The list was blacked out the first time back in February or March.
Wait a minute. I mean, this was all
I think it was
teased
March.
February, March, and as late as April. And now, come July, it's the beginning of July. Now everything is non-existent.
Yeah, like
That's
there's
what
no
I'm saying. Something doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't match.
And this is the other thing. Like, what was I saying earlier? That, oh yeah, that's what it was. That I have completely abandoned my support for Donald Trump because in the first episode, guys, I told you that for the first time ever, I did vote. I'm a registered independent. I'm not for either side because I think they both.
Wow.
I think they both.
That's another big. That's a landmark.
Yes, I know.
Statement. Wow, he's a registered independent like me.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I think when you
to the dark side,
consequences.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're about to get really derailed.
My John Wick infatuation. Sorry, we keep digressing.
And I voted for Trump because of after everything that happened to him and his family, his name being dismantled, him getting shot at, him being constantly lied about. And I'm not saying he was a flawless human being. He never was. I knew he was a loudmouth dipshit. I knew this about him. I knew it. But they lied about him, and then they ignored the actual flaws with his last term and this term.
I'm sorry, I'm getting another call. I have to answer.
God.
I had to check caller ID. Remember that? So, yeah, he did call you a dipshit. I'm sorry, sir. All right. I'll have to talk to him.
You know what the sad thing is? That's probably what he would do if he knew about this criticism. So.
I hung up my phone upside down. So
he probably still just overheard what I
he
just said.
overheard what you just said. The Secret Service are going to be outside. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, but my
FBI.
whole thing is after everything that's been done and how crazy the left went with going after the kids, with putting men and women's sports, and saying that we shouldn't have any security at the border, or when they did finally believe in it, they try to say the border is secure. Meanwhile, millions of illegals, hundreds of thousands and millions of illegals are coming in. I just said, you guys, it's not a matter of I don't like him, I don't like the other side either. Like less kind of like 22 where they said they didn't vote for Biden, they voted against Trump.
100%.
Which by the way, I'm surprised to see how united people are. Anyone I've asked, they said, did they vote for Biden or did they vote against Trump? Most people will say, or if you ask, do you really want Biden as your president? And they'll say, I don't want Trump as my president. Correct. They won't say, I want Biden as the president. 100%. They wouldn't say, like, I think Biden's a better option. They just say, oh, no, Trump.
100%.
So I think I'm not one of those people. I looked at the left's behavior, and I said, you guys have got to go. And I actually have some classically liberal values, and I think you do too, Fletcher. They say, absolutely. Conservatives are pro-free speech or whatever, except when it comes to Israel.
I consider myself, honestly, if I had to describe myself, we can both describe ourselves to the audience. I would say I'm a conservative Democrat.
Conservative, can you elaborate on that?
The conservative ideals, like the foundation, my platform of me being me, and some of my ideals about abortion, about fiscal responsibility, conservative, but liberal in some other aspects of society where I don't believe 100%. I believe it's a good element to have a little bit of Christian influence, but sometimes there needs to be a separation of church and state, which is a more fundamental democratic perception and viewpoint than it is conservative. I mean, a lot of times conservatism wants to incorporate the church and state ideals to all aspects of government.
And I do think that there are some things that I don't think should be in legislation. I'm a Christian myself.
So that's what I mean. That's a great question in terms of elaboration. Like, I don't know if you're along the same lines. I got that from my father. That's what my father described himself as.
Conservative Democrat?
Responsibilities, some of the issues, like in terms of right for life, in terms of abortion, kind of conservative, but also having very democratic ideals.
I just think, I think what I am is, I'm not going to say, so Dave Smith always calls himself an anarcho-radical libertarian anarchist. I'm not going to go that way. I do believe that so, to be clear, I don't like government either. Mm-hmm. Do I believe
Correct.
in having a set of governmental rules? Yes. Honestly, to quote, you say consequences. I'm about to reference John Wick 2. One of my favorite lines of movie history is when, Winston is going to, he's like, like, you can do that, but until then, rules. Right, rules. Without them, we'd be living with the animals. And it's true. We need rules. But the level of government, and by the way, this is why I'm not a Democrat or Republican, is one side is super pro-government, the other one says limited government.
Correct.
The last 30, 50 years, I have yet to see the government get lower with every Republican that's been voted in or anything like that. When's the last time a Republican said, I will shrink the size of government? I don't even think Ronald Reagan, didn't Ronald Reagan may have said something like that?
Or less government. I mean, he was definitively about that.
Yeah, he was, but then after that, like Bush didn't do it.
He predicated a lot of his policy on less government. That's why
Bush did not run on,
in a nostalgic way, always goes back to Reagan.
W. Bush didn't run on less government. Mitt Romney did not run on less government. John McCain did not run on less.
No.
I don't even think Trump at any point ran on less government.
Not really.
No.
Not in so many.
So
so
my
many
whole.
ways.
So I'm a libertarian. So I'm not a libertarian like, oh, this is fine and whatever. Like. So the way I look at it is this. So I am pro-life. I'm a Christian first. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be one of those people that say, I'm pro-life, but there's 3 exceptions. I believe in one exception, which is literally, so the average person, whether they're Christian or whatever, that might not be in favor of abortion, they'll say like, oh, I'm okay with 3 things, rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe in one exception, which is if literally the mother is going to die. Like, if you're going to die, and like if it's my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, it's you're going to be the ultimate determining factor of whether you're going to live through this or not. But if you're like, oh, it's because I can't afford it. Okay, well, why didn't you keep your legs closed?
Well, and I didn't say it, ladies and gentlemen. It came from Nick.
No. Let me get this clear.
Statement.
It's not just the ladies. And by the way, this is my problem with a lot of red pillars.
Saying, it was a little bit of a coarse way to say it. I like it, but it just surprised me that it came from
my issue with a lot of red pillars, the conservative movement, a lot of them place the blame on women. And guess what? I had the nuance of, like, the left will say it's all the men, the right will say it's all the women because they're not picking their men properly. And guess what? I think they're both right, but they are both missing the full picture. Their half brings their half to the picture, and the left's half brings a bigger picture. Like, it completes this picture right here. And that is because it is both people. So men, keep it in your freaking pants, bro. But then the ladies, keep them closed and make sure you pick your mates wisely and stop sleeping around with people. So unless the woman's life is at risk, that's not okay for me. And we can get into more of that another time.
You have to keep it in your pants all the time?
I can't hold that in.
Did I tell you what happened? I gotta mention this. I don't care. It's completely off topic.
Oh boy.
It's what happened in the bathroom at the movie theater last night. I had a guy
No.
urinate
No.
in front of the urinal. He was a foot from the urinal. So I turned to my left, and I'm watching this man pee.
Get out of here.
He's like 12, 15 inches away from the urinal. And this is ironic. I went to go see the Superman. This is a great lead-in, because this is what we're going to talk about in the next part of the podcast.
I will close this out
about
with my
movies,
thoughts on Trump and all that
but
stuff.
yeah, we will
Files.
close this out. I mean, this is a nonsense discussion, but it's hilarious, because the guy was so far away from it. I turned to my left, and I see the guy's wiener. I'm like, dude, I don't want to look at that.
Nobody does.
It looked like a scared turtle in a rhododendron. It was insane. And he just like made eye contact with me, which made it even more uncomfortable during the experience. I'm like staring at him like, dude, you want to get closer to the toilet or the urinal, whatever you're aiming at, because I can see everything. It was just bad. Bad news. And ironically, here's the ironic part. This is just like a Seinfeld episode. He was standing with his hands on his, like Superman. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? It was so disturbing. And
ladies and gentlemen, I was not expecting this story.
I just felt the need to share. This is what we do on this podcast. We share, right or wrong.
Yeah, we do share, but it's like,
it's a great
we
lead.
start talking about the Epstein files. Now we're talking about our views.
We're talking about somebody else's package. Yeah, that's peeing like Superman.
And you know what, like
at midnight at Valley View Cinema. So yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Finish up with your thoughts on the whole situation, because then we gotta get
let me get my viewpoints real quick, and then I'll close with just my thoughts on the Trump administration. So like, I'm very strong on my guns. I believe that if it's not a nuclear bomb, you should be able to own a tank in your backyard, a shotgun on your right above your bed headboard. You should have a pistol underneath as long as it's secure and your kids can't get to it. Which at that point, it's me. I should be able to own a 50 cal sniper rifle. I should be able to own a Gatling gun in my front porch, so that if anyone the government wants to come and try to take my guns away, well, say hello to my little friend. Stuff like that. I'm not, so credit to Tim Pool on this. I used to consider myself a free speech absolutist, but to be a free speech absolutist, you need to be for no regulation. So here's what I mean by regulation on free speech. So I think you can go out here on the street right now and you can yell whatever you want. Now people will say it's public property, you can't do it. I'm like, whatever. Like, there's a debate to be had about that. But I don't think that anyone should arrest me because I say, full disclosure, I don't use swear. I think it's disgusting. I don't think anybody, black, white, female, Hawaiian, anyone should be using this word, saying the N-word or saying a swear word, using the Lord's name in vain, criticizing the government, criticizing Israel, Australia, Russia, Ukraine, anything like that. I think that you should say what you want, except for inciting harm, which is why I can't be a free speech absolutist. Because you're a free speech absolutist that, like, and credit to Sticks, Stacks, and Hammer, he's one of the best commentators I've watched. He's a libertarian pagan. That's why I say I can watch different people, even though their worldviews probably disagree with me half the time. But anyway, he even said, like, I am a free speech absolutist, and that includes, like, yelling fire in a crowded theater. You can't do that. You're inciting panic in a theater where people can literally get stepped on in an emergency. So I don't agree with that. But again, if it's like, I should be able to say, oh, I don't believe in the results of the 2020 election, or I believe I should own a Gatling gun. You should be able to sleep with 5 women, things like that.
Why did he point at me when you said that?
That was actually unintentional, but
it was subconscious. I'm not denying it, but the finger was pointed at me. Why am I sleeping with 5 women? I don't want to sleep with 5 women. 4,
I don't either. I have
5.
a girlfriend, but
that's absurd.
But so that's
let's
just
wrap it up. All kidding aside, what do you think is going to play out? Because we're really short on. We're actually over. What do you think is going to play out with let's finish with Bondi, Bongino, and Patel? How do you think it's going to play out? Do they all stay intact? Does one leave? Does all of them leave? So how do you see it playing out?
So I'm not good with predictions, although there are some things that this will be for another episode that I can say I knew it, I was right, and whatever, and I called it. in regards to Bondi, Bongino, and Cash Patel, I'm just going to give two scenarios, and I'll tell you what I'm leaning towards. So one scenario is Bongino leaves because what it's looking like, and look, I'm not behind, and as far as I'm concerned, I hold all three accountable. That's just my stance.
1,000%.
Like I think Bondi, Bongino, and Cash Patel, or it's not like Bondi here or Bongino here or something like that. I find them equally accountable. With that being said, I'm getting the feeling that Bondi did kind of want to release. I don't know her. I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards Bongino leaves and Cash Patel leaves as well. The other scenario is she leaves and those two stay on.
I think initially I'm with you on the latter. I think it was going to be her leaving. But after, was it Trump's tweet or his message on, Truth
Social, that's his social.
Kind of looks like, I think Bongino's going to end up being the odd guy out. That's just my own opinion.
And you know what says Bongino, once he was hired, I was saying there's two men, and one of them I still hold on this platitude. I thought there's two people where I'm like, absolutely. Okay, there's three people, but really two because whatever. Was Tulsi Gabbard, and that one I liked less than like Bongino and
we all know how I feel about Tulsi.
Yes. It's Tom Homan.
She can do no wrong.
There's Tom Homan, Tulsi Gabbard, and Dan Bongino. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm like, yes, but again, not as much as Homan and Bongino.
100%.
Bongino, because he was a former Secret Service member, and guess what? 2 years prior, he was saying, dude, this Epstein guy did not kill himself. You can learn. I've watched this 2 different times.
Correct.
He is on record saying Epstein did not kill himself.
He's been consistent.
He was consistent until the last month.
That's the problem I have with Bondi. Bondi has not been consistent with what she's conveying to the general public. At all.
So my final thoughts are Bongino leaves, Cash Patel leaves, or here's the third scenario. Bongino leaves, Cash Patel gets fired or leaves, and then Bondi stays.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Didn't you say you just...
I think initially I thought it was the fix that we can call it the Megyn Kelly take. I thought it was going to be, get rid of Bondi. Not just to get rid of her. I mean, is she a horrible person? No, but she hasn't been consistent or honest. So I have a problem with that.
Yeah, me too. But then what politician is honest?
It's not looking like it's going to go that way, and I just have a vibe that I think Bongino is going to be the odd guy out. I think Patel stays no matter what. He's been on record as saying that. I'll stay with Trump no matter what, even though, does it happen? I don't know, but I feel he stays regardless. But I think Bondi's going to, unfortunately, I think Dan's going to be the odd guy out. But we'll see how it plays out. It's very interesting because the whole thing, meanwhile, while you and I are surmising and the whole American public is trying to figure out who's going to stay, who's going to leave, the main question is, what the hell were on these files? Yeah. That still hasn't been answered.
And by the way, I know
from Bondi's mouth in February and March. We got some, like I said earlier, Alina Habba. That's his personal lawyer on Piers Morgan and another podcast. Disturbing, disgusting. You're going to see some stuff come out. And then nothing? It doesn't make sense. We started off the podcast where there's a vibe of a cover-up and it's confusing.
Yep.
And we'll end this segment with, it's definitively, there's going to be more on this. It's not going to go away.
And I'll just say this
I think Trump wants it to go away, and it's not going to go away.
And I don't think it's going to go away. If he wanted to go away, he would have just had the race. And by the way, for the record, even with me obeying my support for him, I don't believe he's on the Epstein files. A lot of people will say, oh, Trump must be on the Epstein files because of what Elon Musk said. I don't think he is, because if it was, let's be real. He's an idiot, but he's not dumb.
No.
And that's what I'm going to say is, if he was on that list, he would have never made the promise of we're getting the Epstein files out. That's just my take.
Something might have been on there that puts him in a bad light.
Well, he used to be friends with Epstein.
Association. And
Well,
I
remember,
just
he
think
used to be
that's-
friends with him.
I think that's where this gets murky, and that's where the if you want to use that word, it's kind of a harsh, aggressive word. But if you want to say cover up, I think that's where it starts, and we'll leave it at that. 'Cause
All right.
nobody knows for sure. But if I can surmise, I think there's some sort of guilt by association. It's not participation. Like, I'm with you. He's not on the files because he himself
What else? What else is on your
was on
mind?
the Lolita Express. So Billy was, Mr. Clinton was, and I wasn't. There was somebody that looked like me.
Yeah,
but I
weren't the
was not.
Clintons on the list? Like all the variations I've seen of the Epstein list, because I've seen like different names on different lists. Like they'll say like Robert Downey Jr. was on the list, but then the next part of the list I saw he wasn't on there.
Yeah.
But all the versions of the list I saw, the Clintons are on there every single time.
Lot.
And not
An
once
awful
have
lot.
I seen Trump's name or
That's
anyone.
that's a great idea. We should do something just on the Clintons. I mean, there's so much. Just talking about Bill and Hillary. There's so
Oh yeah,
much.
yeah, and guess what? We'll have a guest on there who's like a supporter of them, and they'll turn out like that one Valuetainment episode with Anthony Weiner and
Yeah.
Patrick Bet-David. Oh my god!
That was a fantastic. I know that was a fantastic
Was.
episode. All right, we gotta cut it, and we're gonna move on to the next subject, which will be we're talking about movies. We're talking about Superman. I saw the movie. Nick didn't really want to see it. That's okay.
Well, I thought we were going to see it.
We were gonna, but I made a preemptive. It's a family decision. My nephew wanted to go see
Family
it.
comes first, so I respect that.
Yeah, it was totally cool. But Nick's gonna give a platform about the Snyder universe,
Yes,
so to speak.
yes.
And how this movie was different, and it was actually disappointing. But we'll get into that in the next segment. We'll have to cut this one because we were way over, but it's okay.
It's okay, and whatever happens.
Whatever happens, happens. At least, you know what? At the end of the day, at least the guy that was urinating at the urinal is not on this podcast. Because that guy, I don't get scared easily, but that guy he really worried me, man. That was one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's going to be.
Anyways.
Again, that definitely will be a topic for the next episode. See you guys in the next one.
All right, Tank Top Edition continued in a little bit.